Hi, my name is Lindsay Cohen. I am a senior ServiceNow engineer here at RapDev.
Hi, I'm Eric Ledyard. I'm the roadmapper here at RapDev. So today we're here to talk about DevOps, more of a high-level conversation and how it is impacting the ServiceNow ecosystem. Companies are trying to do innovation faster, but still stay as safe and governed as their existing change processes and regulatory audits permit them to be. So a product was called ServiceNow DevOps, was actually released, and the goal there was to be able to allow for the automation of ITSM controls and governance to match the speeds of the CI/CD automation. So I have just an amazing time to sit here with an actual implementation engineer. I'd love to get your take on, what you've been seeing our clients and customers doing with ServiceNow DevOps and how you've been enjoying those projects.
So one of the biggest challenges I've seen so far during implementations is in the beginning that customers are kind of hesitant to automate everything. They don't want to kind of lose control of the manual process of approving changes, creating a change request, having that eye on their test results, things like that.
Yeah, no, I've seen the same thing. So a lot of times the clients will say, we have this gate that we have to go through, and this is how governance and risk has always stipulated we must meet it. It is a huge adoption to get them to automate those processes and let go of some of it. On the flip side, what I've seen as a result of that is that change managers end up freeing up a lot of their time because they used to get all this noise coming through the system, but now the systems are automating 80% plus of those changes. They get to really focus on the 15% that were very important to them.
That's certainly something that I've seen too. Once they kind of see it in action, see the time that it's saving and that it's still doing all of the checks that they did manually, but it's kind of automated and still has the same kind of auditing process, things like that. They're more comfortable with higher level of automation than what they have.
Another huge benefit of ServiceNow DevOps that I was very excited about was the insights and analytics, the ability, since we're connected to all of their tools, to actually be able to gather information on, the core DevOps DORA metrics, the core flow metrics, being able to pull all the analysis from every single point from ideation to production. How much work have you done with custom dashboarding or leveraging the DevOps insights and analytics?
A lot of the times, honestly, they use the out-of-the-box insights integrations and the dashboards that are currently set up. From what I've seen, it provides a great amount of information, high level, and then you can kind of narrow it down from there.
Where do you see clients starting when we actually, get engaged with the client and we say, okay, this project starts and kicks off? What's usually your way that you bring people onto the platform?
Yeah, so first I start out by taking a look at the tools we're using. So what are they using for their orchestration, their pipelines, their Git repositories, their planning? And then I go from there and see how do we kind of break this down? What are the individual requirements for each tool? We start by onboarding those. Once we have the tools set up, then we can kind of jump over to the change part. And we kind of work with change management and the DevOps teams to decide a list of change approval policies on how you can get the change requests to be, the goal is automated approvals, or if they don't meet those change policies, then, they'll result to an auto reject or a manual approval.
Yeah, so then once you actually get the product implemented and the folks are using it, what do you usually get from feedback on, what is improved? I know we track a lot of that.
There's certainly a lot of big improvements that we've noticed once we are finished. On the developer side, the time is saved where they don't have to manually create a change request, upload a attachment of their test results, fill out 1,000 fields on a change request. Since that's all automated, all they have to do is worry about their actual, the actual development part. And they don't have to do, they save a lot of time administrative wise.
I know another big part of it that developers, and when we set out to do it was, there were always three big value messages. One was give developers, make their lives easier on change, provide, leaders with insights and analytics. And then the third one that kind of was really impactful was audit, was giving the developers time to not have to deal with audit. Have you seen that be a major impact for you as well?
Yeah, for sure. Especially because we're getting, we have our data-driven results. So, the actual value of, their sonar scans, their test results, their unit tests, things like that. So it's kind of an extra layer of trust that we have. So that you're not relying on a developer to say, yes, this test passed. You're actually getting that actual result from the tool itself.
And do you see any advantages? The other interesting part is because they helped the ServiceNow teams write the product, I believe we are still the only partner that actually has access to the source code of the product. Does that help you when you're doing your job, is being able to go in and troubleshoot actual lines of code in the product?
Yeah, so I think that's a really big advantage because myself and, many engineers at RapDev, we've done so many DevOps implementations. So we've seen a lot of the use cases or difficulties that customers face, and we know kind of how to approach them while sticking to ServiceNow best practices to get them the result that they want.